Thankfully, this morning's snowstorm's gale force winds began to give way to a slightly warmer,
he's coming up here. Let's get the transducer all the way.
but certainly calmer afternoon of ice fishing on Devil's Lake in North Dakota.
Oh, good walleye. It's just unbelievable how aggressive these things are. I mean, they're literally coming in so fast that you don't even see them, and you just get that rod, you know, whew. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Gary, Chase, Jason, Trent, and Tom are focusing on transition areas
Oh, got a big mark coming up. Got a big mark.
of hard to soft bottom and in some spots in only 5 feet of water.
He's fighting good. I'm not making much ground on him, and we're only in 5 feet of water here. But I can't even move this thing. We're shallow water daytime walleyes in Devil's Lake, and this one feels like a beautiful fish. There he is. There he is. Beautiful Devil's Lake walleye.
And this extremely low ice ceiling isn't slowing the aggressiveness in their jigging cadence either.
You can't even see that lure. But what's interesting about these patterns, I've seen it over and over on Devil's Lake. These fish are aggressive. They want the presentation aggressive. So you really got to pound that spoon hard and knock that spoon hard. Just pound it. I often, when I was guiding, I often told people it's like hammering a nail. You just really want to send off a lot of vibration, move some water, and that's what these fish want. If you don't do that, a lot of times these fish will lose interest. But Devil's Lake unique right now is this high water situation just create a lot of great year classes of fish.
Devil's Lake has been slowly filling and flooding for the last 15 years.
Are you kidding me?
And as the water slowly rises each year, the lake adds more acreage,
Come on, transducer, work with me.
which floods more shoreline, making for an ideal spawning and forage growing habitat. Farms and towns unfortunately get flooded out, but the fish thrive.
A nice fish. You know what, I just switched up and put on more of a horizontal jigging bait here in a glow color. I've been using a gold, and dropped a minnow head on this thing, and I dropped it to bottom, picked it up about 2 inches, and whap, the thing just crushed it.
Mixing it up between spoons and horizontal jigs is proving to be what these big and aggressive walleyes want.
You know, when we're ice fishing, we're always trying to find the hottest bites and these suicidal bites where fish are jumping all over the bait. But a lot of times the reality is, this time of year, the fish are a little bit trickier to catch, and you need to do a few different things to try to get a couple more bites. Now, there's 2 things that are important when rigging up a jigging spoon. So what I like to do is I actually like to take the spoon, lay it out so that part of the treble hook that's kind of centered, the center point, in line with the rest of the bait, is the one that I like to hook up to. There's the traditional way where you just thread the hook right up into the head of the minnow and then pinch it off so that the head is actually facing the spoon like that. Or what I like to do, especially in clear water, when the fish are tuned into feeding up, I actually like the head up so that minnow is looking down at that fish, just challenging it to come up and eat it. But more importantly, when you snap that spoon, as that spoon flutters back down again, when it settles in, that minnow head stops and it gives it a real nice natural presentation that you'd get from a swimming bait fish. The other bait that I really like would be a horizontal type bait. Now, what's really important on a horizontal bait is to make sure that treble hook hanging off the bottom is positioned appropriately. So what you want when you actually look at that treble hook, when you pull that hook back, it should be in position so that the center point of that treble is in line with the other 2 hooks. And there's 2 different ways that I like to rig one of these up. The first way would be just your traditional way where you just throw a minnow head on it. The other way that I think is really important, once again, especially in clear water when the fish are a little more finicky, would be to take the minnow and you actually take the hook and I hook it through the top of the head versus up through the bottom. And what this does, when I'm snapping that bait, when it's gliding down, now that minnow is in line with the jig and it gives it a really cool natural profile. It looks like 2 minnows swimming in tandem. So next time you're out, give that a try, and I guarantee you're gonna get a few more bites because of it.
Oh yeah, we popped it. Oh. I like that stuff.
Feels like a walleye.
Come on. Ooh, there. Oh yeah, it's a walleye. Oh, he's not quite as big as I thought. He's hooked right in the nose. He beaked it. He came in, he was just cruising on the bottom, and he just rose right up. He came in and he biffed it.
But man, I'll tell you what, this is fun. These fish are something special. I can't believe Jason Mitchell has this in his backyard. It's not fair. Life is not fair. I'm telling you, it is just not fair.
The Real Deal. Real fishing information from real fishing experts. Presented by AMSOIL.
I've been using two-stroke motors for years and years for my main outboard. In recent years, I've been using AMSOIL HP injector as my injector oil for the two-strokes. It's a synthetic motor oil. They're a lot more consistent throughout the temperature range. There's additives in synthetics that make this happen and make this a top quality oil. And the one thing about AMSOIL, they have set the standard in synthetics for years. Now this stuff meets or exceeds the recommendations for any outboard companies out there, so you don't have to worry about the warranty issues. That's not an issue at all. This has got 30% more additives than other synthetic oils. The engine runs cleaner. It prevents things like ring jacking, rust. The bottom line is it makes your engine last longer. And the interesting thing that I noticed when I started using this, a smell that used to be there with a two-stroke motor, that's gone. The other simple thing is you burn a lot less oil. Okay, so you can use this as a mix, a 50-to-1 mix, but also in these injector systems. It makes these engines run smooth, it makes them last longer, and you have no worries about any warranty issues.